Hey guys, Joe here, the man who just orders soda when I go to the bar. And I'm here to talk about UFC Fight Night, Fiziev versus Gamrot. And I feel like there isn't a ton to talk about, but, let me readjust. But there isn't a ton to talk about, but there was some extremely decent family violence going on. So, enough talk, let's get to the fight. Because our main event was the aforementioned Mateusz Gamrot versus Rafael Fiziev at 155 pounds. Two top dudes that don't have the biggest name, but like are mega talented and all this. I was actually really looking forward to this matchup. I thought it sounded really fun. And they're because each guy had a loss that kind of halted their momentum, but they were looking to kind of rebuild and get back into that upper echelon of the division. Ooh, excuse me, and be right around the corner for a title shot again. So, Gamron, he suffered a setback to Beneil Dariush, and Fiziev, he lost a Fight of the Year candidate, I think it was last year, Fight of the Year candidate, though, for sure, against Justin Gaethje. So, out the gate, this fight was actually pretty competitive. I felt like Gamron had the edge, though. He had a takedown and some good control time, and was doing well enough in the striking to not just get blown out by the much more experienced Thai fighter. I mean, like, Thai fighter, as in Muay Thai fighter. But, yeah, in the second round, it all just kind of came crashing down. Fiziev threw a kick. It landed weird on Gamrot's elbow. It was a right kick at the left elbow. And the fight got stopped. It was an injury. And I believe they said his knee, or his patella slid forward, I think they said. And so it might be a patella injury, but it's most likely looking like, excuse my phone, it's most likely looking like an ACL injury, which is 10, or I think they said it's 8 to 10 months minimum he's going to be out. Awful. It's a high profile and exciting matchup, and then it gets ruined by this injury. But not even halfway into the fight. It's not like a thing where, like, I hate being this guy, but like Jared Cannonier, he fought Anderson Silva years back, right? And he TKO'd him with low kicks. Jared Cannonier did. But everyone says, oh, it was a leg injury that did it. It was a leg injury. A leg injury from kicking him in the legs over and over. It's like the Sean O'Malley, Cheeto Vera, when it's like, freak accident, shouldn't have happened. Like, okay, but he kicked him in the legs, you know? It wasn't like his knee was damaged from attacks earlier in the fight. It was just kind of like that one in a million, that right shot hits just weird, you know? And just kind of how it goes. I don't know if anyone's like, you know, if you like, you know, box, you hit the bag and your hands aren't wrapped correctly, you know? I've done this before. And you hit just weird and you feel funky and you feel your pinky kind of pop, you know? That's not that bad. It just stings, right? But I've done that. I was like moving, getting grooving, and I hit the bag and I skimmed it like an idiot, and trying to be fancy, and I hurt my pinky, but it wasn't like anything bad. I don't even think it popped out of place. I think it just really sucked for like a day or so. But you know, you got to feel bad for Gamron in my opinion though, because I mean this is arguably the biggest win of his career, along with Sir Arman Tsarukyan as well. And both of those fights have, like, asterisks next to them. So the Arman Tsarukyan fight, extremely close. Once again, excuse my phone. I'm a very popular man, as you guys know. And, but the Arman Tsarukyan fight is incredibly close. Both guys go back. Both guys are just back and forth. Too popular. You know, not everyone agrees with that decision. I know, I don't. Oh my fucking god, dude. I'm gonna redo from the you have to feel bad for Gamrot. My brother, that's my little brother. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. You gotta feel bad for Gamrot here though. This is arguably the biggest win of his career with like Arman Tsarukyan and voice crack there. Arman Tsarukyan and Rafael Fiziev here. The Tsarukyan fight extremely close, with not everybody agreeing with that decision. And the Fiziev one was due to an injury, you know, not even halfway through the fight, like I said. So you got to feel bad. But then an idea came in my head as I was like looking at some tweets about the fight, because I had to watch these later. And you gotta feel bad, but this is such a funny idea. Could Michael Chandler beat both of these guys? You know, like he could land that big bomb, but would he? You know, kind of thing. We have a ton of talent at 155, and Michael Chandler seems to openly avoid the lesser named but equally talented guys in the division. Arman Sarukian, he was openly kind of ducking. He was like, "No, I'll just fight Conor." Okay, when's Conor done anything worth anything? You know, when was the last time he did anything worth anything? Beat Nate Diaz? Okay, all right, sure. Eddie Alvarez, when was that, like 14 years ago? Feels like it, at least for me. I've covered that fight on the Retro Review. But, you know, it's just kind of funny. I saw this tweet from Jack Slack where I think he said verbatim. It was something along the lines of, every time two awesome lightweights fight, one of them has to lose, and the other one, and the other thing is Michael Chandler gets to avoid him and wins. He gets away with it. And that's some food for thought, because he's still chasing this mythical Conor fight that isn't going to happen. Conor's too busy up on, like, every concoction of steroid. He's on the John Jones training regimen right now, which is every concoction of steroids possible and just tons and tons of that white powder, it seems like. So that fight, I don't think is ever happening. I don't think Conor's ever coming back. It's just me.
Evolution is a mystery, full of change and no one sees.
Let's talk about the big meme of the weekend. The big meme is Bryce Mitchell, the best rapper in MMA. We all know that's actually true. I've heard Tyron Woodley rap. It's awful. And he came out showing a Bible, waving in the air, yelling like repent or something, I think. And then he went to a decent little scrap with Dan 50K Ige. And so this fight I thought was good. I thought it was very competitive. Dan Ige was landing almost at will on the feet, kind of lighting up Mitchell, busting him open. And but Mitchell would get takedowns near the end of the round and kind of have a dominant position. And he's just working his Arkansas Jiu-Jitsu kind of the whole time. I actually like both fighters and their games and their talents. But Mitchell seems very one-dimensional at times to me. He definitely felt like it in the striker grappler matchup, whereas Ige is a very competent grappler for sure as well. But after 3 rounds of, honestly, I think it's really close action. I'm kind of curious what you guys think. I scored it for Mitchell, but if someone said Danny Ige won, I got no beef with that at all. In the end, however, the judges did give a unanimous decision win to Bryce Mitchell. Then Bryce Mitchell, he came out saying, "I'm going to donate to the wildfires in Hawaii," and then he started spouting a Twitter controversy about, or not a Twitter controversy, a Twitter conspiracy theory, I should say, about how these are man-made fires. You know, this like whole weird thing. And it's just hilarious. And then he said, Satan started them fires too, so they're man-made, but Satan started. I'm religious. I understand what he's getting at, but for some people who might not be, they might take that actual like literal. It's hilarious, and it made me crack up and reminded me of my old days when I was in Catholic school growing up. I did have commentary on when I was watching this fight, right? I had gotten back from me and all my dude friends kind of had like a little get together at this arcade bar in town, and I was too busy striking out with this girl in a Shadowheart cosplay at the time. But so when I got home, when I watched it finally, I didn't have the commentary on. I was just kind of chilling, relaxing. I don't drink anymore, so I was sober watching it, and drinking another soda, just laughing. And all I could think of is, I probably should have had the commentary on, because I wonder if commentary brought up the fact that Bryce Mitchell doesn't believe in gravity, you know? And all I could think about is, if Bryce Mitchell doesn't believe in gravity, how come Ilia Topuria dropped him? Like, he definitely fell. Did he fall? Did he get punched down? Like, or did he get knocked down? Like, hold on, explain this gravity thing to me. Such a very odd character in MMA. What a crazy sport we have, all these characters. But I have to stress this. As a Southern Christian boy myself, I'm from the South. I'm Christian, I don't go spout my, all my things out. But I want to say, we aren't all like this. I promise. He doesn't represent all of us, okay? I mean, look at me. You guys seem to like me a lot. But it's super funny. It's definitely funnier to me, because I know tons of people like him, and I just go, you guys are an embarrassment for us. You guys got to stop. And so Bryce Mitchell, cracks me up. Fun character, but God, is he embarrassing. That's like slightly. I'm not even from Arkansas, I'm from Oklahoma. Finally, let's talk about the Karate Hottie taking on Marina Rodriguez. Rodriguez, she had this great run moving towards a title shot. Then an ill-fated loss to Amanda Lemos, and Verna Yandiroba just kind of plummeted her down in the rankings. And Michelle Waterson Gomez, the Karate Hottie. On the other hand, I've always felt like she's like a top 10 gatekeeper, but the UFC uses her like a top 5 gatekeeper, if that makes sense. And she was at one point, I want to say, the best atomweight on the planet, but at strawweight, I feel like it's just too much of a leap for her, and she's just constantly undersized in almost every fight, and you could definitely see that, as this fight was essentially Marina Rodriguez just mauling her in the clinch with elbows, knees, punches, and then she would kick whenever they break to get back into the range, and just a nasty, nasty, nasty display of punishment. Brutally violent and very bloody fight. I thought this fight should have been stopped multiple times on the feet. I was sitting there going, what is going on? Call it. Like, you know, I'm a you know, obviously I make jokes and references to it. I'm a big Karate Hottie fan. She, you know, I'm quite attracted to her, of course. But I am a fan of her. She does seem like a genuinely great person, you know. It's mostly for the jokes that I, you know, go, oh, Michelle Waterson, you know. But any fighter in that, you know, in that taking that kind of punishment, take the fighter A, or take the fighter out, make it fighter A and fighter B. No one knows who they are, right? And I wouldn't want that punishment. That's how I judge calls, so I try to leave my bias out of it. And but eventually, though, Waterson Gomez tries to go for like this sloppy takedown. She gets reversed and mounted, and Rodriguez puts it away with the TKO finally. Then she calls out Tatiana Suarez. And that's a matchup I actually really like, but it doesn't make sense to me in the grand scheme of where these fighters are kind of going, you know? So one of them just got their like momentum back and is trying to make that case for like a run toward the title, and the other one is right around the corner from a title shot. So how do you guys feel about this clash at 115 pounds? I'm kind of down for it, but at the same time, I'm kind of not. I don't know. For me personally, I think Tatiana Suarez, I think you kind of, I don't know what you got to do for her. You got to do something though. But for now, for the rest of the card, Brian Battle got a tough winner. He also got a rear naked choke win over AJ Fletcher in the second round. Charles Jourdain got a guillotine choke win in the first round. Then he called out Cub Swanson, which sounds like a crazy awesome fight. But Cub Swanson sadly on the downturn, but I'm still so down to watch Cub Swanson fight. Miles Johns, he beats Dan Argueta by unanimous decision. Tim Means got a sweet TKO win. Oklahoma boy got a sweet TKO win over Andre Fiallo. Cody Brundage, he got a disqualification win over Jacob Malcone for some bad shots to the back of the head. It looked like. Ooh. Muhammad Usman, he beat Jake Collier by unanimous decision. And when I heard this fight was happening, I swear on everything, this fight had happened like twice earlier this year. You know, but I also go, Jake Collier fights on every card. I have like this recurring feeling that he's always on every fight night card at the Apex. But maybe I'm just crazy. I'm probably crazy, actually. I do go by Loco Joe in a lot of circles, so who knows. Mizuki Inoue beat Hannah Goldie by unanimous decision. And finally, Montserrat Rendon beat Tamire Vidal by split decision. And that is it for me. There are no fights next week, but we have a lot of cool things coming up the pipe. A retro review. I literally just finished a retro review not that long ago, and so that's getting worked on. I finished it on my end, at least. I have the easy job. But we're getting that edited and making sure that comes out soon. And I'm actually going to work on another one a little bit today and try and get that out. You know, trying to pump them out because my job's the easy side. I just have a really awkward schedule, but today is a good day to kind of KO a lot of work stuff for the channel. And so hopefully we can get those out and make it as fast as possible for you guys. And if you haven't seen the most recent one, I got to cover WEC 48, the most underrated promotion in MMA history, I think. One of my favorites of all time, too. And I got to cover its biggest card, WEC 48, which has one of the most leg kick-tastic fights you'll ever see. It is awesome. So, highly recommend you guys go check that out if you haven't seen it yet. In fact, I'll even beg. Don't make me beg. Yeah. So, please go check that out if you haven't. And there is no fights next week, so I won't be here. But we might work on something else, though. We might see what we can do. I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching.